All right, everybody. Today was a rush to get this show on the air. It was, technical difficulty after technical difficulty, and maybe it's because I spent too much time drinking by the pool, but I don't know. But we're here, and that's, what it's all about. So we're here to talk about some soccer in South Florida, and I appreciate that you guys are all here with me as well. But I'm not here by myself because contractually I'm obligated to do this show with my best buddy here, Uncle Ed. Say hi, Ed.
How's it going, guys? Great to see you. We've got a great show for you guys tonight. It should be fun. I'm a little bit choppy, Peter says, but hopefully you guys can endure and talk some soccer with us.
Yeah, it should be fun tonight. We've got so much to talk about. We titled this show a little bit of a bummer. Like, look, I was thinking about making this show more about the schedule, but then I start talking to you and somebody else, and next thing you know, we're like in this negative space, and we're talking about, oh no, the world's over, and they lost the game. So we're going to talk about a lot tonight. We're going to talk about Inter Miami losing to Tampa Bay Rowdies, a USL championship club, and what does that mean? Is it a little bit of deja vu? Are we doing this thing all over again? It feels like a little bit similar to last year, maybe. Plus, we've got the schedule is out now, so it's time to buy your plane tickets, to figure out your travel dates, to figure out your schedules, to figure out what's going on, so we could talk a little bit about how that schedule may look, and that'll be a lot of fun tonight as well. Plus, of course, we've got your voicemails. We've already got a few voicemails on queue, and hopefully image-wise and everything's good. Like I said, we had to punt a little bit on some of the technology side of things, but thank you so much for you guys joining in. Ed, let's say hi to a few people in the chat room. Can you do that?
Certainly, Peter. Let's start off with Jose Velasquez. Jose Velasquez is with us, the first guy that I get to see who's on right now. We also have Alex Z. How you doing, Alex? We can't forget our good bud, Judge Dredd the Law. What's up, peep? We got B King. B King is in the house. We can't forget our good friend, One World, One Goal. She's also with us. And we've got our friend from Atlanta, which, by the way, Peter, a new Wiseman. How you doing, bud? I saw somebody. I went to go eat some crabs with my wife yesterday, and there was a guy in there with a Atlanta jersey. He was from Atlanta, so I said hi to him and everything. Told him, of course, that Inter Miami was going to beat them this year, and he didn't agree with me, but it was good chat, and it was fun.
Let's talk about that for a second. Hang on. Let's put a pause on welcoming everybody. A new Wiseman. You also were out shopping this weekend, and you saw a Atlanta United jersey, like dirt cheap.
How much was it?
Oh, I don't remember. Was it like $15, $19, something like that?
Well, I don't know. I sent you some pictures not too long ago. A couple hours ago. I was at Ross, and I saw Atlanta United jersey, which was I think $15. I saw Columbus Crew. We also had Cincinnati, and there was another team that I saw, Peter. They were all like $18 to $15, and I was just like, I wish there was an Inter Miami one, but there was nothing there, man.
But so I'm curious. I'm curious for someone like a new Weissman who's probably ponied up a good $90 for an Atlanta shirt, and we see it here for in good old South Florida at the Ross store for a good like $15, $16, whatever it was. I'm trying to find it on our chats that we had today. There it is, and I'm seeing it now, and it was. Oh, hang on! It was $12.99.
One of the cheaper ones, Peter.
How about that? How much How much did you pay for your five-stripe jersey? This is the red and black jersey. You can find it here in South Florida at Ross for a good old $12.99.
Oh yeah, and there was also I think an Earthquakes one. I don't think I sent you the picture of that one. But there were two crew jerseys that I saw there. Of course, they're extra large and extra large and stuff like that.
It's no different than my wife
cool to
was.
See.
Yeah, exactly. My wife was shopping at one of those type of stores. She was at Burlington at Sawgrass Mills, and she found some Inter Miami shorts, but they were extra small. Now, she tried them, and I tried them on, and I was like, I've lost some weight, but I'm not an extra small. So we have to return those. But, you know, you go to these stores like Ross or Marshalls. We know that some things have popped up there as well, or where you were at Ross. You could find some good sales on some MLS material there. So, all right. So who else should we say hello to? I know I sidetracked.
Well, there was we've got Jazz Fusion is also in here. How you doing, Jazz? Good old Jazz.
Hang on.
Who else do we have? We got Kevin Gonzalez.
Jazz Fusion's talking about nachos. My nachos were good, but burritos on deck. So let's talk about those nachos. What do you got in those nachos? You got a little. Is it like a lobster nacho? Is it just a good old fashioned nacho? You got some what kind of cheese you got on that nacho? I mean, nachos are good. I have not had nachos in forever, Ed. Man, that sounds good.
Well, because you're trying to take care of your figure now. You're all concerned about how good you look. I'm not as
as concerned
invested as you are. So I'll have myself some nachos.
I haven't had nachos in forever. Let me tell you something, Ed. All right, Kevin Gonzalez. He's not worried about the loss of Tampa Bay. Excited for 3 weeks from today at Lockhart. So who else? Who else have we got in here? Also,
we got Jonathan Carranza, our good friend Jonathan Carranza is in here. MB is also here. Hello, MB. And let's see who else we got. Peter Brown. We got Matt Z is also in here.
All right, Matt Z. We also had Eric Thomas in there as well. Matt Z coming down from St. Louis for 2 games. Matt Z's coming from from St. Louis. How about that?
Look at that. We've got Score FL is also in here, and Chris Arjun. How you doing, buddy? And that's it for now, I think, Peter Brown.
Chris Arjun does some good photography, Ed. I don't know if you follow him on Facebook, but he does some good photography.
I do.
On a lot
he's got some good stuff from back. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of like good shots on like a lot of the on Miami United. I almost wore my Miami United shirt today, but I didn't do it.
But instead, we look like twins. We've got the same polo on. I gotta say, it's my favorite, man. I always
twinsies.
Yeah, my wife is always telling me, "Well, you're putting those Inter Miami stuff again." I'm like, babe, what can I do? I mean, I like the colors of my team. So she's threatening to buy me some pink stuff. I'm like, hey, do it. I'll wear it.
Yeah,
no problem with that.
I'm all about the pink nowadays, right?
And I did tell her she needs to buy them at Caneswear.
Exactly, which is a great segue, Ed, to showing this image here at Caneswear. Go to caneswear.com if you are not local, but if you are local and if you are in the Davie area or if you're on April 18th, if you're headed down to Lockhart Stadium, whether you're coming from the south, stop off at Caneswear in Davie. Caneswear's got a great selection of Inter Miami gear. They've got La Palma there. They also have that rain jacket that I bought as well. And some people I know think that rain jacket's pretty sweet. So go and get yourself that rain jacket or this image right here of the training jacket type thing, the 3/4 zip that the players will wear as they march out onto the field. So you can go to Caneswear, and if you use FMTV 10, you will save 10% on your order. So just go in the store and mention that you watched it on FMTV. You will get a discount, or go to caneswear.com and put in that code FMTV10, and you will get 10% off. Great place. Support your local business.
Make it happen, guys. Yeah. As a matter of fact, Peter, I went into Dick's Sporting Goods because I heard that they had a selection of Inter Miami stuff. So I went looking. Man, they only had one jersey, a couple of T-shirts, and that was it. Very disappointed in their selection. So that kind of reinforces why you guys should go to Caneswear. You got everything, man. They're stocked up.
Yeah, my wife was just at Dick's yesterday. She sent me an image of one of those. It's a pink shirt with just got the 3 stripes in the middle. It's kind of one of their newer shirts that Adidas made, and I know you can get it at Caneswear, and it wasn't like any cheaper at Dick's. So, I mean, it was probably cheaper at Caneswear. So just go to Caneswear. I looked at that. My first reaction to her was, "Well, how much?" I mean, and it didn't make any sense to buy it at Dick's when you can support a local business like Caneswear. So, yeah. And like I said, if you enjoy this show, if you enjoy the content that we put out, go and the best way you can support this show is by supporting Caneswear. That is the number one way. What do you got there, Ed? What are you drinking?
I actually have a cider going.
What kind of cider? What do you got? What do you got? What do you got in there?
It's apple cider. It's pretty good. And I don't know if you were able to see, but my wife forced me to put this, to show this off. I don't know if you guys could read it.
Tell us what it says.
But it says I do whatever she says. So I was forced to do that. I was, so I got to do it, man. I got to do it. She's the one that brought me the cider. Yeah, that's proof right there.
So we know who wears the pants in this family, right?
I do. He's wearing shorts.
It doesn't sound like it, Ed. By that mug. It doesn't sound like it. I don't know.
Well, no, she just passed it over to me, and I got to do what the wife says because that way I'm sure to get fed tonight.
That what they say, happy life, happy wife, or happy wife, happy life, something like that, right?
One of those.
One of those sayings right there.
Mm-hmm. So Peter.
Yes, sir.
Let's jump into it and let's talk about Inter Miami and their preseason. Well, last week, while you did the show by yourself, you did a pretty good job, I must say.
The people missed you. The people missed you. They were. It was a tough crowd last week. Let me tell you, Ed.
It's that bald head, man. It's the bald head.
It was that tough crowd. You are the heart of this show, and everybody totally missed you.
Go on.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It was a very, very tough crowd last week, and so I definitely need you here to the people are nicer when you're here. That's all. It's what it's really about.
Come on, guys, don't be rough to Peter, man. He does all the, dude, which, by the way, what beer are you drinking there?
Well, so
that looks good. I wish I had a beer.
I was drinking, as Uncle Ned would say, girly drinks all day. So here's the thing. As you guys know, if you listen to this, I spend most weekends doing the yard. I got a nice yard, and I try to keep it looking nice, right? So I spent the morning doing my normal yard work, and at the end, hey, it's finally that time of year where I could go in the pool and enjoy the pool. And so that means let me grab a few beverages, sit by the pool all day from like 1 p.m. on till literally like 30 minutes ago. And just sitting by.
I'm shopping with the wife.
Well, that's your problem. My wife went shopping with my daughter. I stayed home by the pool drinking some as Uncle Ned would say, some girly drinks, some seltzer. But I ran out. Oh, well, no, here's the thing. I didn't run out. I'm stocked, Ed. But they were just not in the fridge. And so my nephew had a Pabst Blue Ribbon because he's a country fan. And all the country songs have Pabst Blue Ribbon. I remember Pabst Blue Ribbon being like this kind of garbage beer. Just like this cheap beer forever. But all of a sudden,
beer, yeah.
All of a sudden, some country singer starts singing about it, and it's a popular thing all of a sudden. So this was actually in the fridge, and it was cold. Whereas the seltzers that I had were not cold. So
kill some time.
I switched.
Your stuff will be
switched to this
conveniently, just for this moment, and then yours will be cold soon, so you'll be good.
Yes, and it'll be cold soon, just in time for me to leave the house because I gotta.
You gotta get out.
Yeah, I gotta go do some.
So Peter, let's get back on track here. Inter Miami has started their preseason. They weren't able to play the first game, and I think you let people know why.
COVID.
They were They were supposed to play Miami FC, and apparently one of the Miami FC players got sick, so they canceled that one. Thankfully, probably in time so that nobody else could get sick. And the good thing is that they had time to get ready for this game that just passed. But unfortunately, it didn't go the way we planned it to go, Peter Brown.
No, so here's the thing. We were chatting with old Uncle Ned a little bit before the show. And you and Uncle Ned, I think, were like, the sky is falling. Oh no, we lost to a USL championship club.
Woe is me.
Woe is me. Now, keep in mind, they are a Eastern Conference champion. I don't know if that makes a difference, but they are Eastern Conference champions. So they're not scrubs. Although you and me, Ed, being longtime South Florida soccer fans, got a hatred towards Tampa Bay Rowdies. So I was not happy.
Our friends. Not our friends.
Not happy to see.
Lose. Yeah, fine. It's an exhibition game. It's a practice game. But man, we can't be losing to these chumps.
No, we can't.
What's up with that?
But is it really the sky is falling? I know that I saw somewhere in a chat in here, I don't remember who said it, but somebody had mentioned that they're not worried about losing that match. Exactly, One World, One Goal says, P.S. Miami FC beat the Red Bulls to an MLS club, right? So should we be so upset that Tampa Bay Rowdies beat Inter Miami win? Look, it's just a practice game. It's just practice, Emily. We're talking about practice, Ed. I said my daughter's name in there by mistake.
Yeah, it starts with an E. It's understandable. But
that was weird. That was weird.
It's like the drinks you've had.
I'm used to yelling at her.
You've been drinking.
Yeah,
you've been drinking. And
look, I deserved it because the last 2 days, I don't know if you saw what I shared on Facebook, but the last 2 days, I've been sitting in a theater watching my daughter do some amazing dance. She did some great dance work, and if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, you saw it. Some good stuff. So I'm all cultured out, and so her name is on the top of my head, as it should be.
Of course. And right now, after a couple of drinks, you're unwinding. You're getting ready for the next work week. So I don't blame you, Peter.
One World, One Goal says I'm slightly lit. I don't know. I think it's just a little bit of a buzz. I don't know if I would call it lit, but I don't know. What is like? I don't know. How many was it, Ed?
It ensures a good show.
Or a train wreck, because I'm the one that controls the show. So,
oh my goodness.
I mean, the technology side of things could go real quick and easy. So
it sure can. But let's hope that Peter can hold it together. And let's talk about a little bit more about, God, Peter, all over the place today.
So are you, Ed, I know I just kind of downplayed the whole losing to Tampa Bay. How do you feel about Inter Miami losing to Tampa Bay?
Well, Peter, it's just like, you expect to, come out on top of a USL team. First of all, okay, yes, they're getting the cobwebs off. They're starting to warm up or whatever. But I'm kind of concerned because there's also something we talked with Uncle Ned about earlier today was that the offense that we have isn't creating too many, opportunities to score, or they have, or they've missed. And there was something he was saying that we had Pizarro, we had Carranza, we had Higuain. Who else do we have up in Robinson was also up there. Our forward players have only, between all of them, scored 8 goals, which is, for the reputation that they have. Higuain, he didn't play that many games, but still he only scored 1 goal. So it's concerning, Peter. We don't have firepower. It's like we need another forward. I'm not too, Pellegrini was one of the guys I forgot to mention. He's just not showing what I think he deserves to be. He's getting paid more than most of these players, so you expect at least for him to create assists, to create more chances for the other players to score. He hasn't done that. Sometimes he hasn't played as a starter. So I'm worried that, we're kind of stuck with whatever, team was created by your friend Tubby.
Tubby.
And and it's tough. Paul McDonough left us with some players that just haven't panned out. And the way that I see it, and I think I mentioned it to you guys, was that we kind of were left with players that the team really didn't want. They were players that that the owners, probably didn't really want. They expected bigger names, and Paul kind of promised that. Maybe they shouldn't have promised things, and they were kind of left with these players that were good on paper, or just haven't created what we expected, a winning team. And now Jorge Massa said he set the bar up way up high, saying that we're going to be a top 3 team. And I don't know, Peter, how do you feel about that? Will we be a top 3 team in MLS this season?
No, we will not. I am sorry to tell you, Ed, we will not. I do not see this team that much different than last year. We made some changes. Here's where I see the team. I see Inter Miami as being, I think we're going to look at a season where we're going to see a lot of low-scoring games. We're going to see games where, because look, Chris Henderson and the squad here in the front office have focused on defense. And they needed to. It makes sense that they focused on defense. But they have not spent a whole lot of time on offense. And, defense first, they say defense wins championships, all that stuff. Okay, fine. So we're going to see a lot of low-scoring games. We're going to depend a lot on Higuain and see what we can get out of Carranza and obviously Robbie Robinson. Phil Neville was high on Robinson recently, talking highly of him. He's no Daryl Dike, and we all know that Daryl Dike was a player that they could have chosen, and he's in the U.S. national team pool playing with games, and meanwhile Robinson is not. So that they clearly made a mistake on that pool, but that is our friend Tubby's mistake, right? But I think this year we're looking at low-scoring games. So how good is the defense is really what it comes down to. And are we top 3? Probably not. And more importantly, this year, last year I think it was 10 teams or something like that got into the playoffs from each conference, and we got lucky that we got it. Next season, 7 teams are getting into the playoffs from each conference. That's it. It's going to get a lot harder to get into the playoffs. And MLS pundits right now are saying that Inter Miami is not making the playoffs. And I would tend to agree that as of right now, we're probably on the outside looking inside. I mentioned earlier in some of our shows, is 2021 going to look a lot like 2020? And I think it is. I don't think you can undo everything that Tubby did in one season. I think it's going to take a little bit of time. Chris Henderson has done what he can in this short period of time. We've got what we think on paper is a solid defense. We've got Gregory, who is finally, by the way, made it. He's made it. He's here, right?
He's back. He's here. Yeah.
Finally, he's here. And I could tell you, Brazil is a mess right now. Brazil's in a lockdown, so just be thankful that he was able to get here. So now he's going to probably have to spend close to 2 weeks, somewhere 7 to 12 days. I don't know exactly what MLS is doing as far as the COVID, but he's going to have to quarantine for a little while before he's actually practicing with the team. But he's here, right? So, but and that'll and Gregory being here will help free up Matuidi and the more of the offense and hopefully Pizarro can get into the attack a little bit more. But Pizarro again is playing as a number 10 as a creative midfielder, and he's never really done that. So I think we're looking at low-scoring games, and how good is our defense at the end of the day is really what it's going to boil down to. So top 3, no, Ed. I don't think we are. Yeah, it'll keep us in the games, but I don't think we're going to see. I think we're going to see year 3. Look, Chris Henderson needs time. As much as I want this team to be a champion in year 2, I don't see it happening. I think we're looking at Chris is doing what he can in this year. And if you look on paper again, what he's done is great. But there's still more that needs to be done, and that attack needs to be addressed. It's thin. It's thin up top, but how much can you do in one offseason? He needs another offseason, really, Ed.
Yeah, it's crazy how we could have had what's his name? DK. We could have had DK. We didn't get him. Instead we've got Robinson, who was the award winner. What is it, Heisman Trophy winner, whatever they get for the soccer thing. He was the award winner. He was the one that beat him out. Yeah. And we thought we got the guy, and our guy seems to not have been as good as the other guy. Yeah. But let's see. Maybe like you said, Chris Henderson and the coach will be able to do something to get us get something out of the players, so he'll score some goals and show why he was awarded over DK.
All right, Ed. Apparently, we're getting yelled at in the chat. We are getting yelled at in the chat that we should be playing One World, One Goals voicemail. So let's do that because you yell loud enough, and we might hear you. We just might.
Hey, it's Italia, One World, One Goal. Listen, before we throw Beckham under the bus, we have to remember that I know Peter's going there already before the show has even started. We had like 3 players, key players were with their national teams. Like Pizarro was out. Somebody else was out. I think Morgan might have even been out. And, the one over at Dominican Republic, is it Escanda? I don't know. Terrible with names. Anyway, and then we have at least 3-4 more guys that probably don't even have their visa. They're not even here yet. So literally missing at least 6 out of the first 11. So take Beckham out from under that bus. Because, listen, don't forget, this team was like that boat stuck in the Suez Canal. That Tubby, as Uncle Ned would say, oh yeah, by the way, this is Aunt Deb. So Tubby drove that boat, that ship, into the edge of that canal. Everything was blocked. Everything was a mess. And now we got Neville over here and our wonderful Chris Henderson from the Fusion. They're digging it out. They're turning that ship around, and they're going to get things moving again. So this is really no indication of what's going on, I hope. Anyway, that's my take. Okay, love you guys. Love the show. Bye.
Now, apparently I must have a reputation, Ed, because she thought I was the one that was going to jump all over the team. And I'm the one, I think, in this group here that is saying, chill out, relax. It's not that big a deal. It's just preseason. Whatever. It's just preseason. Yeah. Like she said, we're missing several players. Pizarro's with his national team. We got players that aren't even here. We got players we just talked about. Gregory.
Ascona, I think.
Right.
Talking about Ascona. Who's with the Dominican Republic. What other players do we have? We've got quite a few players that are out.
So should we really read into this all that much? Now, of course, our friends in Orlando, I was looking on Twitter, and of course our Iron Lion firm, which is their supporters group, we're having a field day with this. With the fact that we lost at Tampa Bay. Because, look, as much as we might dislike Tampa Bay, I think Orlando dislikes Tampa Bay even more. Just because it's a
lot more.
Well, they have that whole war on I-4. They share that whole I-4 corridor. And so they definitely don't like each other. And it's not to do with soccer. It's just cities in general.
And they're a lot closer to each other than they are to Miami. So
just an hour
they're
away.
Right there.
Yeah, just an hour
just down
away.
the road.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the funny is some people thought, hey, Tampa Bay MLS team, Tampa Bay and Orlando, that's just too darn close for 2 MLS teams, let's be honest. But I would say my general thought is about and apparently I must have the reputation of the one that yells at the team more than anybody because she was thinking I was the one that was going to come at the team. I'm the one I think that has got the cooler head. That's just like, chill out, relax. It's okay. It's just one game. It's just a preseason, whatever. I was actually talking to us and you and Uncle Ned, just like, relax. I'm not making any judgment until April 18th against LA Galaxy. That's when I will make judgment. Before then, I'm not really ready to make any judgment, especially because I can't see these games in person. If I was able to watch these games in any form or fashion, I might have some sort of more of an opinion on it or more of a criticism. But since I can't watch them, I just look at it as glorified practice. Since everything's all closed doors, everything's top secret. This is MLS, and this is not just Inter Miami. A lot of MLS teams are doing the same darn thing. So, it's so top secret. I'm not really going to pass judgment yet. But we are thin on the top, like we talked about.
We need another player up there, and I don't think we've got very much money left to get a top player unless we get, a journeyman, somebody within MLS, or, we wait for Beckham to do some magic and talk somebody down like apparently they did with Matuidi. Which, by the way, brings me to my next subject, Peter.
Okay.
And something that we talked with Uncle Ned about.
Okay.
Was who do you guys, and that's something for the chat room right now, why don't you guys type in who you guys think deserve to be the captain? We had a heated conversation about that because last year, towards the very end, who was our captain, Peter?
Higuain, and he does not deserve it. He does not deserve to wear that armband. The guy that goes and yells at referees just because, hey, that's what he does. He loses his cool.
He's a big name.
Yeah, he thinks he's above the MLS law or whatever. He is not. Just because you've got a big name, you are not guaranteed, in my opinion, captain. He is not captain quality. So, Ed, who do you think should be the captain?
Well, one of the people I think that we mentioned the most and, who played pretty decently. My real take is the best player that we had last year should probably be the coach.
The captain. Who's that? And who do you think that is?
I think that would be the guy that's on the right-hand side, the guy that created most of the opportunities. It's got to be Morgan.
But okay, can anybody look?
He's young.
Okay,
yeah.
I get you. But we talk about language barriers on this show sometimes, especially when it came to Alonso. Is there a language barrier between his lack of English and stuff like that? Now, Morgan speaks English, but can anybody understand him? Right? So is he captaining and yelling on the field, and can anybody understand him? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't understand
his Scottish accent.
Thick accent. Can anybody on the team understand him? But more than anything, I'm joking about that. But he's still awful young. Is he really captain material? Yes, he's our best player. But is he really captain material? I don't know. It depends on how much.
Imagine that, Peter, Captain Morgan, man. Think about it.
I get that. The alcoholic in you speaks.
Yes.
As I go and I drink.
Captain Morgan. Well, it sounds good, Captain Morgan. He's our best player. Yes, he's young. He's young and ambitious, and he just re-signed with the team, which could mean that he's going to be with us for a while. He could become like the icon of this team. The guy to the reference. For the team, and he likes being in Miami. Who doesn't like being?
So a couple thoughts here. Eric Thomas saying that in his opinion, he picks Matuidi. And Matuidi, I mean, that's a good, solid pick. He's in the middle of... Look, you captain, he's in the middle of field. We never saw Matuidi lose his cool. He's always cool, calm, and collected. He speaks English to some extent. I heard him a little bit. He speaks...
He's got that experience.
You cannot deny the experience. He's won at every level. And so, solid choice. I don't know how I think we've seen him yelling at players and stuff like that, doing some coaching on the field. So that's good. So that may be a solid pick. Inter Miami CF says LGP. That's who I was thinking. And actually, One World, One Goal is saying center and defense is a good for captain. I was thinking, based on the fact that Chris Henderson is building really this defense, that you look at your defense as your captain, because they're really putting a lot of focus on the defense. And I saw a thumbs up just go. I only see 6 thumbs ups. There's more than 6 people in here. Let's do a little more thumb upping. Let's do a little more thumb upping, guys.
They're all talking about LGP.
Yeah, so that was my thought, was LGP. Because I ask for a thumbs up, I get a thumbs down? Just because I asked for a thumbs up? Oh, okay, much better. It was erased. Okay, somebody thinks he's funny. Okay. Anyways.
Whoopsie.
I would agree. LGP. Here's the problem with LGP is he also does lose his cool a little bit. LGP is good for a couple, several yellow cards and a red card here or there throughout the season. So he could definitely lose his cool, but he knows the league. I think. I also look at possibly Shawcross. Now, I know we haven't seen anything of him because he's not with a team yet. But everything you read about Shawcross is he's a leader. Everything is about being a leader. Now, he's either going to lead the team from the locker room or he might lead the team on the field. So if he actually makes the starting lineup, I could imagine him being possibly the captain based on his history. And everything I read about him is leader, right? So if he does not make the starting lineup, obviously he's not the captain, but he's going to be maybe a leader in the locker room because everybody, like I said, everybody talks about him as being such a leader. So, I would think possibly either LGP or Shawcross because I feel like one of the two of them are definitely, or both of them are in the center midfield. There's talk about Shawcross could just be depth. But I don't think they brought in this guy for a reason.
Right. So, any other thoughts out there of who could be the captain? Are those our options right now? What I'm
seeing, Shawcross. Okay, here Chris Arjun is agreeing with me. Shawcross would be an ideal captain, but I don't even think he will play many games this season. So, yeah, and that's what we need to see. We need to see how good this guy is. All we know about him is that Stoke loves him, right? Stoke, right? Was it Stoke? It was Stoke, right? His former team loves him. I think it was Stoke. They love him, and he gets injured a lot, right? He's got a history of injury. So can he make it through the season? Is he coming into ML? And they don't sign a player just without doing physicals and all that kind of stuff. So I assume he's okay, but who knows? So I don't know, but Chris,
and here's a guy who's thinking about retiring too. Remember?
Yeah, he was. There was.
He was like, and then this jumped in. He said something like it jumped into his lap all of a sudden, right when he was thinking about retiring, and I was like, "Whoa, dude!"
So that begs the question: is he here to come on a vacation? Is he sitting by the pool like I was all day? Do I need to invite Shawcross over for the hangout by the pool? Can me and Shawcross be?
That'd be kind of cool.
Can he and I be buddies by hanging out by the pool?
And be sure to invite me over to the pool too.
No, just me and Shawcross.
Just you two guys. That's how it is.
I'm gonna give the inside scoop on the team. I'm gonna feed him some Pabst Blue Ribbon here, and he'll tell me everything.
Sounds good, Pete Brown.
All right, one goal says Matuidi is the only one that won the World Cup. So boom. He should be the one. Hey, we have a couple more voicemails. Let's go to some voicemail here, Ed. All right, we got like 3 from one caller. He's got a lot to say. He's got a lot to say. It sounds like. Let's go to this guy.
Hey, downtown, Peter Brown. Well, I gotta say, fam.
Hang on, that's last week.
Oh, boy.
But same caller this week.
What's up, me familia? It's America's Uncle Ned.
America.
Shout out to my guys downtown, Peter Brown. And Darrell's favorite uncle, Uncle Ed. Fam. Damn. Let's just get this thing over with. I could call you guys like at least 3 times, leave 3 voicemails. But I can't, I'm just going to get to the point here. We got to start calling this team the Cardiac Herons, man. You know what I'm saying? They go up, they go down, they go up. You know, it's like a roller coaster ride with these guys, man. We started off this week, man, with the good news that our guy getting ish done, Chris Henderson, signed not one but two guys. And Kevin Leerdam, who is actually a good player.
And Dutch.
He's actually a pretty good player for Seattle Sounders. Very useful, great role player. He's going to do good over here, guys. This is going to be our right back, our starting right back right here. And then to top that off, about a couple of hours later, they officially announced the signing of Kieran Gibbs, who I also think is going to do great over here.
So good.
It's a brand new start. It's a new league. People were calling him, saying that he's washed and all of that type of stuff, man. Listen, he's playing against world-class talent over there in England. This is the English Premier League. He's not playing against scrubs. Over here, he's going to have holes that he can run through. He's going to be able to pick apart offenses and so on and so forth, man. He's actually, I think he's actually going to do pretty good over here. 31 is not old, guys. It's not washed up or over the hill, all right?
20 years younger than me.
But just when we thought everything was going good, they came out with the schedule. We need to talk about that also. You guys have probably already addressed it, but we need to talk about the schedule. We find out that these guys are losing to Tampa Bay Rowdies. What the F? What? Tampa Bay?
Nah.
You mean a team that plays over there in a USL? You mean a team that they can't get out of their own way? We lost against them? No, man. Listen, I know this is preseason. You know, you can afford to drop games because they don't matter. They don't count. But they do matter, though, because you're trying to tweak your offense and your defense up. If you're already showing that you cannot score against inferior talent, and I hate to say that, but it's true. We're talking about offense. We're talking about a USL squad. They don't have nearly the budget of Inter Miami or any other MLS team. Okay, so we can't sit up there and afford to sit up there and drop games to USL talent. I mean, we should have been.
He got cut off, but guess what? He's back.
Oh no.
You know, maybe I need to. I'm the one that I set like a time limit on these messages. Maybe I need to lengthen that time limit because we got some guys.
Uncle Ned can talk.
Uncle Ned's got a lot to say. He's got a lot to say. All right, let's continue with Uncle Ned.
I'm back. I told you I was going to call you guys 3 times, but no, actually, I'm just going to leave it at this last voice message. Anyway, like I said, we can't afford to be dropping games to Tampa Bay. Listen, there's a problem up front, all right? You guys, people may turn their head, you know, give a blind eye to it, but there is a problem up front. And I don't know whether it's chemistry, but we do know Rodolfo Pizarro is playing out of position. We do know we have guys on this team who we are paying millions of dollars to, but haven't showed us jack, okay? We're talking about 4 or 5 guys up front, and I'll go ahead and name them. Pizarro, Pellegrini, Robinson, Carranza. These guys, they're all talented. Every last one of them is talented, okay? But we're talking about 4 guys with a combined number of 8 goals last year. 4 guys, 8 goals. Let that sink in, okay? That is unacceptable by any standard, okay? And most of Inter Miami's budget is going towards the offensive end. You know, it's not going towards defense because everybody on the back line is either TAM or regular salary. You know what I'm saying? Even Matuidi and Gregori, they're just regular, they're TAM players. You know what I mean? All of the money that Inter Miami is spending is going towards the front, and we're only getting 8 goals, and nobody scored yesterday? Nah, man, this doesn't fly with me. I'm willing to give it at least till the middle of the season, but if they don't pick it up, man, definitely. Chris needs to start shipping people out of here, okay? Because this ain't a charity league where people just a pub league where people just play in a park and pick up a paycheck. No, we want results, okay? Put some damn points on the board. And last but not least, our guy Gregor. I'm sorry, maybe somebody's Brazilian that could let us know how to pronounce his name. But we just got word that he landed today in lovely South Florida. Bienvenidos. Welcome to South Florida. And I can't wait to see this young guy out there on the pitch. I think he's going to light it up out there. He's actually going to be our workhorse out there. He's young, he's fit. I think he's hungry and he's ready to prove himself in Major League Soccer. Anyway, love you guys. Love Familia. Shout out to the squad out there, man. And shout out to Peter and Uncle Ed. And this is Uncle Ned signing out. Peace.
Uncle Ned, thank you so much. Lot there to chew on. Gregory. First off, it's not bueno bienvenidos. It's bon dia. That's good morning and or buenas tardes for. But
for Spanish.
Welcome. Yeah.
Wrong language.
Wrong language. But yeah, it's funny as I went to Good Morning. That was my choice of Portuguese, just because I'm used to saying that over and over. Good morning, bon dia. But yeah, no, it's good that he's back. And I had one of my computers just die on me, Dad.
Oh boy.
Yeah, computer stuff. He talked a lot about the offense. The offense is weak, but I think the offense is thin. They often talk about in any sport that defense wins. So Henderson comes into this team. He's now the guy making those calls as far as what players we pick. So he obviously goes with the defense first, and a lot of people would say that's the right way to go. So like I said earlier in the show, I think we see ourselves with low scoring games. Not
very exciting, Peter. I know a lot of the fans are going to be like, this is going to be boring.
I mean, a lot's going to depend on what can Pizarro do. Pizarro being a number 10 and being asked to be more of a true number 10 than he maybe was last year, and having a little more freedom in that, Gregory's there and Matuidi's there, and between the two of them, he doesn't have to do any defensive work and stuff like that, and get a little more creative. Granted, that's not really necessarily his strength. He has not really been a number 10. I think he's better on the wing, to be honest, and cutting in. But hang on. Eric Thomas is calling me out saying, break out. The only words you know in Portuguese. Hey, look.
Well, Peter, we're talking about Pizarro.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me jump real quick there, since you were talking about Pizarro. If you guys can check it out, there was an interview that Michelle Kaufman did on Pizarro from his 49th floor luxury apartment in downtown Miami. Yeah. And you see him, there's a cool picture of him leaning outside right on the balcony overlooking, the city. And you could see right behind him is the building where David Beckham's penthouse is at. So he's, rubbing elbows with pretty wealthy people out there.
That means we're paying him well.
He's 27 years old. He's on top of the world, or at least on top of Miami. Do you think Pizarro? I'm sure they promised him. Tubby promised him. Paul McDonough promised him more, because I know his eyes were in Europe. He hasn't done as well as everybody wanted him to do last year, to maybe deserve being looked at by a team. But then last year was a train wreck in every sense of the word. Do you think Pizarro is going to be able to finally show what he was brought here to do, which is, create chances for the players and prove that he deserves to be in Europe?
I think for Pizarro, it all boils down to, can he pass the freaking ball? He likes to hold on to it way too much, and he has a lot of skill, and he's really good with that ticky-tacky stuff and really in small spaces, and he's really good with that. But he needs to pass the ball. And as a number 10, that's your number one job. Pass the ball to those people that are going to score the goals. Put them into good positions. And he didn't do that last year. So can he do that this year is a good question. Is Neville really in his ear and telling him, get rid of it. Stop holding on to it so much. He likes to dribble it all the way. But the one thing about that article he did say was last year was a big learning for him, and that he doesn't have as much time on the ball as he would have had in, say, Mexico. And so he needs to get rid of it a little bit quicker, something he did learn. So hopefully he's taking that learning and going into this year with that and doing a little bit better. New coach, new style, everything. I mean, there was actually some innuendos about last year's coach in that, saying little things like Neville coaches more than just the DPs. Right, so there was little kind of like innuendos, like maybe our previous coaching system was all about just catering to those people, like our DPs, like Pizarro and Pellegrini and stuff. But now we're giving everybody the attention they deserve. But I don't know. So it really all boils down to can he get rid of the ball and actually be a facilitator, because he hasn't been that. And I don't know if he can be that. What do you think?
Well, Peter, the thing is also that English football is known for having these playmakers. It's a different type of soccer. They go down. It's long balls, precision passing. It's all about speed. Our coach Neville, he comes from Manchester United, which is basically doing that. They did the long passes, the centers. For the big man in the middle, the shots from outside. Do we have that? We've got Morgan, who plays basically like that. He can do the precision passes. At least on the right-hand side, I'm fairly sure that we can do that. But as I was saying, I don't think Neville has played with a creative, number 10. In England, at least, you don't see that anymore. That's one of those players that don't exist anymore in modern day soccer, you know? And for them to have him with the idea of being the playmaker might not be what it ends up being at the very end with our coach, with Neville. And it's just not, I just don't see. I could start with Alonso, but I just don't see that with an English coach. It's just not the way they play.
Yeah,
unless he's adapting to a different way.
So this boils down to, I know a big question is like, how much time do you give our DPs? In MLS, I think most DPs are given about 2 seasons. So this is a make or break, in my opinion, season for Pizarro and Pellegrini and Higuain, right? Higuain might get a little more grace just because he's Higuain and
he came towards the end. Mm-hmm.
And he's at the end of his career and all that kind of stuff. But Pellegrini is a young up and coming player that hasn't been what we thought he was. So, I'm still really, really hoping that this U22 program that is MLS is talking about actually goes into play. It's supposed to go into play sometime in 2021. Who knows when exactly? Because once that goes into play, Pellegrini can then qualify for a U22 player, and he doesn't count as a DP, and then maybe there's a little bit less focus on him. But as of right now, he's not a DP, and he's failed. And so how much more time do we give him? We give him maybe half a season, and if he doesn't do well, we ship him out. And same thing goes with Pizarro. If you're not the model that our coach has, and this is the coach that we have, right? And I think this coach is going to stick around a little bit longer than Alonso did, just because of his relationship with Beckham. And so how long do the coach may get a longer amount of time than, say, Pizarro does. Pizarro's got to deliver in 2021 in the first half of the season. He's got to be what we thought he would be. Otherwise, ship his butt out of here and let's bring in let's free up some DPs and look at the summer and signing some new DPs. If he can't, let's give him up till then at least. But and in reality, he's probably, and I'm saying all that, in reality, he's probably got the full season. But that's how I personally feel, is like, if you're not doing well enough by summer, let's ship you out of here and bring in somebody that can do the job.
Exactly. And I think we all feel the same way.
Ed, if I don't have it up on the screen, I was going to do some graphic work before the show, but as we talked about, I was sitting by the pool and I didn't get it done. But if you look at our first handful of games, it's not the easiest season. I mean, we're starting off obviously with LA Galaxy here at Inter Miami CF Stadium here at Lockhart.
By the way, I put up that footage if you see right behind me.
Yeah. I got to go find mine. I got one of those as well. It's the. I wonder. So when teams play their inaugural season, like when Orlando played their very first home game, they printed up a bunch of T-shirts that said Orlando and New York City FC. I wonder if Miami did a bunch of shirts for playing that big game again at LA Galaxy, and are we going to see them in that game? I don't know. Just merchandising. I'm always thinking about that kind of stuff. Anyways, April 18th.
Merchandise. You think about merchandise.
April 18th, they play Galaxy. Galaxy struggled a little bit, but they got a new coach, and I think he's probably the right coach, right? So is a coach I wanted to have. Then after that, we got the Philadelphia Union, always a thorn in our side. They are the Shield winners. So they're definitely Supporter Shield. I couldn't think of the word. Thank you. They're the Shield winners, so they're obviously a team that is going to be tough to play. Nashville is our third game, and we're traveling to Nashville, and you might think, it's just Nashville. Nashville is better than Inter Miami was last year, so that is not necessarily an easy game. And then after that, we are back home against Atlanta. So just talking about the first handful of games and then finishing that off with CF Montreal again at Inter Miami. I don't know who's the home team. Okay, we're the home team because either one, it's going to be at Inter Miami Stadium because Montreal's playing their home games here. But that's not.
Do you know how long they're going to play here? Montreal.
I mean, I don't think they've put a time limit on it. I think a lot of it is just all related around COVID. Hey, good news! I'm qualified now to get the vaccine because they lowered it to 50. I put my name on the list.
Nice.
Yeah,
you got to do it, Peter.
I'm right
behind you.
I'm in a virtual line right now to get the vaccine. So the sooner we can all get vaccinated, I guess, the sooner we can all get into the stadium. Can't
wait, man.
Yeah, so that's the first 4 or 5 games of the season. It's not the easiest start of the season, not the hardest, but not the easiest for sure. And we definitely need this team to start kicking on all cylinders right from the beginning because LA Galaxy game is not going to be an easy game.
No, they're always a contender for the championship. And Chicharito's another player that hasn't played very well, but he's coming with hunger because it's probably going to be his also last chance to play with the Mexican national team. So he's getting up there in the age. He's not Chicharito anymore. He's Chicharo at this point. He's getting old, so he needs to show off a little bit and show that he can score some goals.
Exactly. Richard Greenberg is mentioning the fact that the Canadian teams will probably be in Florida until July. That's what they're thinking so far. Kevin Gonzalez is saying the state of Florida opens a shot to 40+ effective tomorrow. Yeah,
Look at that.
They didn't. I was actually. This is totally selfish, Ed, but I was hoping they would hold the 50-year-old range for a little bit longer. Because they made that Monday, and then as of Tuesday, I put myself in line, and I haven't heard back from them yet. I want a little more time because right now, once they open it up to the 40s, then it's going to be even harder for me to get a reservation or whatever you call it, appointment. My wife calls it reservation all the time, so now I keep calling it reservation. I can't get it out of my head.
Say it enough times, it'll eventually stick.
At the end of the day, whether it's 40 or 50, I'm just thinking totally selfish reasons. I don't want a long line, so the less people, the better. But the more people that can get the vaccine, I think the better. So at the end of the day, and I know early April, we're talking about having everybody up till 18, I think, able to get the shot. So they're opening it up to everybody. So that's good. So the sooner, some places we don't know for sure, but Inter Miami Stadium could, and I say could because I don't know, they could require fans that come to the games to have the vaccine. I don't know that that's going to happen, but they could. I know my employer, if we want to go back to the office, they are going to require you to have the vaccine in order for you to go back to the office. Otherwise, you have to work remote. So who knows?
I think most people won't do it then, Peter. Most of them will be like, what? I like working from home.
Exactly. That was my thought, is that coworkers are going to be like, well, I don't want to go to the office anyway, so no problem. But Ed, there's just so much. We ran out of time already, and I got to go. We cannot go late tonight. I've got my wife dancing in the background saying, let's go, because we need to go have dinner. And we have promised to take my nephew to the Outback Steakhouse. So we need to go there, and we've got to end the show because I have family commitments. But so we could still go for another 30 minutes. There's so much to talk about. But guess what? No problem. We got another show next week.
Yeah, we'll be there. So we'll be here. Next week.
Yes, next week we will be here. We could talk more about some of the games in the upcoming schedule, what we think about that schedule, and also by then we should have another preseason game under our belt, so we can see how this team hopefully is playing. Obviously, we won't get really any news because Inter Miami doesn't tell us anything, but Eric Thomas is saying for you to take over, and I should just go and have dinner, and you should just continue the show. So see you later, everybody. Bye.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, Peter's got control of the show right now, so we got to take off.
I do have control of everything. All right. And that's my favorite thing we've been doing lately. It's just me walking off the set. I think that's funny. Everybody, thanks so much for watching. Please, as always, like, share, and subscribe. We've got 12 thumbs up. We should have a lot more thumbs up than that. So let's get that people in here right now. Let's get that thumbs up cranking and
make it happen.
And as always, please make sure to visit Caneswear. Go to Caneswear and Davey, or go to Caneswear.com. Support those that support us and support local business. It's important in these days. Use that stimulus check and go buy yourself an Inter Miami jersey.
That's what I did. That's what I'm doing.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe like I mentioned, and we will see you next week.